Boys and girls, your attention, please.
Hello and welcome back inside the Perp for Me for podcast number 969. Max's favorite number, 69, that is. This is Todd.
No, Todd, not now.
A.K.A. Negative Camera. You know why I've asked you
You
here?
must convince the villagers that I'm harmless.
That's not asking too much, is it? Hey, tonight for your kind consideration, we're going to cover the top 5 news stories of the week. Before doing that, of course, I have to introduce my guest, which means I got to go all the way to the right coast of our nation, nestled near our nation's capital. You know her, you love her, the lovely, the redoubtable Grace. How you doing? Look
Woo!
at you. Huh?
Look at that.
How about that?
It
Here, we got some
happened.
applause. Woo! You're getting the hang of this, Lando. That's awesome. Hasn't happened since '08, Grace.
I will say that, as much as I found the 3 races in a row back-to-back exhausting as a fan,
Yeah.
at least you guys didn't have to live with the 2 weeks of me in the doldrums of the, this isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
It's great. This is classic McLaren. We're going to get so close and it's going to get ripped out, and it's going to get ripped out of my hands by Max Verstappen of all people. Great.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, very excited that it happened because, it would have been pretty sad if it didn't. I would have just gone right back into the doldrums and you would have never seen my support for this team again. But we didn't. They won.
You won.
Woo.
You won. Last year constructors, this year both titles.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. We're back, baby.
On a roll. It's not easy. And if you're newer to the podcast, Grace has been a long-time McLaren fan. And I've been a lifelong Ferrari fan, and so Grace and I have had fun since 2005, ribbing each other in podcasts all these years. 20 years we've known each other and had. Isn't that amazing? We've been doing this 20 years. It's something. But so Grace and I have had a lot of fun over the years, and especially with Spygate. It was classic.
4 pages. Why are you still making such a big deal about it?
I know.
I don't know.
It's 4,000 pages of craziness, but we love what McLaren's done. It's great. Super happy for them. Super happy for you. It's like me, having grown up, been born and raised in Kansas City and been a lifelong Chiefs fan, to finally see him win the Super Bowls, and that was great. Ferrari, when they had the Schumacher era, that was great. Loved that dominance. And then, Paul's a West Ham fan. He hasn't enjoyed something equivalent, but
Someday, maybe.
Someday.
We can all be hopeful for him, right?
He's forever blowing bubbles, that Paul. So
I don't know, but it's kind of easy to either be in the doldrums or not in the doldrums. The in and out is what becomes really hard, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, true. It's kind of like
it's hard to find success.
It's kind of like being a Mercedes fan after the new ground effects, and they struggle, and you're like, they're thereabouts, and George is going to do it, and he didn't, and.
Basically, being Fernando Alonso.
Being a Fernando Alonso
what it
fan.
is, right? You're always there, and then they get successful, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure as soon as he leaves Aston Martin, they will also get successful.
Yes.
That's his trend.
It is his trend. He's kind of the architect of his own lack of championships, if you will.
It's all luck. I don't know why you think he has anything to do with this. Just because every time there's something that you're like, that doesn't seem right. Oh, Alonso's involved.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Always Alonso adjacent.
Yeah, it is Alonso
happened?
adjacent. So, my. Hey, before we get started, I just want to say thank you to our Patreon supporters and let them know that in Patreon, I'm posting the YouTube or the videos of these podcasts as well as the audio, and you get both of those with no commercials, no interruptions. So anyway, if you haven't been listening to them or subscribing to that RSS and pulling down there, you can do that. And a huge thank you, because we would not do this podcast if it wasn't for our Patreon supporters.
Absolutely.
So thank you. And if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, just go to our website, theparkforme.com. On the right-hand side, it says support us. Down at the bottom, it says support. You click on that. You can support us in multiple different ways, including Patreon. So anyway, anyway. So, Grace, let's jump into some news now that you are totally McLarened out. This week, here's what we're covering, folks. A fresh Concorde agreement to 2030, a clearer U.S. pipeline to F1. Audi slaps a name on it, believe it or not. And the FIA keeps the incumbent president in a landslide election. And Norris finally gets his silver. We're going to cover all 5 of those. We're going to cover the top 5 news stories. So let's go. Top 5. That's right, Lance. It is a different category. That's exactly right. Top story we're going to cover tonight is the Concorde agreement signed to 2030. Now, everybody carried this. FIA carried this. Reuters, ESPN, everybody, you name it. It was a big story. FIA, Formula One, and all 11 teams, not 10, excuse me.
That's right.
Signed a new Concorde governance agreement. And that is running through 2030. That's a big deal. It, kind of complements the commercial deal that was inked earlier this year, completing and this is interesting. This is the 9th. So for those of us that have been following Formula One for decades, this is the 9th Concorde agreement that has been agreed to since 1981. It's pretty amazing. And the Concorde agreement back in the days, folks, if you're new to F1, back in the day, I mean, Concorde agreements were a pretty contentious thing. And this is back.
To say the least.
Yeah, this is back when the teams weren't mainly subsisting off the prize money or the broadcast rights and prize money that Formula One gives the teams. This is back when they had to kind of, garner their own support by title sponsors and those kind of things. So they were getting money, but not of the level they are now. So back then, trying to get a team to join, they could hold out. Each individual team could hold out, and it was always this push-pull between Eccleston, and it was a chippy time.
And everybody else. It was always fun.
Yeah, it was always fun.
I mean, it was great for us to cover.
It was.
Right? Because you got a lot of great mudslinging kind of quotes out of it. Whereas now it's just like, oh, that happened.
Yeah.
Okay,
oh,
cool.
That's not a Concorde. Okay. Well,
Great.
You're right, Grace. Back in the day, man, you get 3 weeks of 4 weeks of or 2 months of podcasts over who was holding out and why, and they tried to do it amongst themselves, but then they wouldn't, and then Eccleston would come out in the press and put pressure on teams that weren't, and they would have to respond, and they come back, and it was all very chippy and a lot of fun to cover back in the day.
Now it's just like, we all signed it, cool.
Yeah, we signed it. Let's move on. Ho hum.
Great.
So the document, flags investment race regulations. They talk about, wow, this is great. We have race regulations and race direction and stewarding and technical expertise, all the buzzwords that they jam in there. It does keep the entire field, including Cadillac, under the same governance tent for the 2026 rules era, so that's good. Covers the new 2026 rules era anyway. Teams get, some predictability on their cost cap refinements and governance cadence, and I'm sure they had long conversations with Eddie everywhere to figure out what he was doing there. And then, it's... I guess if you're trying to publicly frame this as the press release was, hey, look, we're all collaborative, we're all professional, it's long-term stability, it's great, who's got hair I can mess up? Yeah, it's all wonderful. But I thought, all right, let's talk about a little context, a little perspective on this, shall we?
Absolutely.
Let's do. You and I, we've been around a while.
Yeah.
So the Concorde is the sports constitution, if it will. Without it, the rules, the revenue sharing, everything starts to wobble. And as I mentioned, we've seen that in the past with teams holding out. But apparently everybody's happy with the amount of prize money they're going to get now. And the FIA is happy with its portion as well. And isn't that good?
That's right. How much extra is Ferrari getting paid?
Yeah, as their legacy team payment?
As the legacy team.
Yes. Well, they should. They should get extra money, Grace.
Because without Ferrari, they're the F in the FIA, right?
They were in it long before Bruce McLaren wheeled his car onto the grid.
There they go. Mm-hmm. Sign that extra check.
That's it. Sign that extra millions of dollars. That's right. It really is kind of a two-path thing. There's the commercial, the money side of it, right? Formula One. And that's Stefano Domenicali in F1, and then there's the governance who decides the sporting regulations, the technical regulations. That's the FIA. And look, it's probably good, and I would love to have been a fly on the wall in some of these conversations because this is
for sure.
This season took a lot of incoming over race control scrutiny and track limits and all that kind of stuff. There was a lot of incoming criticism about the governance of the sport this year. And I'm curious if the teams had much to say about it. But on the flip side, Grace, at least it's stability, right? Everybody signed up. They're all good to go.
You're right. I guess we have that. I'm sure it didn't do anything that we'd want them to do, like, permanent stewards or, consistency from race to race or like transparency, like any of those kind of things that would really be helpful as somebody watching the race. I'm sure none of those things got figured out.
Oh, let's not argue about Yes.
But, they all got their money. Cool.
Yeah, they got their money. Governance clarity usually lowers a team's cost of capital now that they know these are the regulations. These are going to be, standard till 2030. We know what the investment is. We know initial R&D costs that we're going through right now is exceptionally high, and then it'll we'll depreciate that over time, and so this kind of balances out their projected cost structure over the next 4 years. So.
Well, Gene, that call to Gene though is going to be a lot easier.
The call to Gene will be a lot easier in this case.
I can't. That's what's in the Concord agreement, Gene. That's what we signed.
Right. Yeah. It's what it is. It is what it is, Gene.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
That's right. Hey, I got to think another angle of this, Grace. This could be great news for Apple now that they've just sunk millions into broadcast rights, knowing that, it'd be nice to know that the FIA and F1 and everybody are on the same page and there's no threat of a splinter series like they used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
So that's good. Apple will be, Tim Cook will be like, whew. That was close.
Yeah, right. Tim and Craig don't have to run it all,
no.
right? Like I think as long as Ferrari gets their money, they will stay. It'll be fine.
But I got to be honest with you, Grace. To your point, agreement does not equal execution. What metrics?
Never.
What?
It surely doesn't.
No. What metrics force change if the stewarding falters?
Nothing. They'll just keep on. It's what we've been doing. Why would we change now? Just because now there's all these other people that are like, hey, wait a minute, right? Like, I think that's the thing that is always interesting when you bring new fans in, like the things that we all just accept as fans, like, yep, that's how it is. And they're like, why is that? Like, that's a good point.
It's the way it's always been in F1.
I don't know. Why don't you call, Stefano, ask him, why is this what we're putting up with, this student team, right?
Right. I know. It's, well, you and I, keen listeners can go back 20 years and hear us, you and I, 20 years ago saying, why don't they have a standardized crew of stewards so they'll have consistency in every race and those stewards know how they interpreted it and how they applied the letter and spirit of the law. I mean,
and they'd be professionals and they could study it and they could understand, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because what is one defensible movement? Like, rules always have gray area in any sport, right? I mean, I guess in anything, but any sport has gray areas in the rule. You can never spec out every situation that might happen. So it is always going to be left up to interpretation, but at least, you have somebody. Listen, here's the answer. They need, for Formula One, they need to get Simon Crafar, who is now the lead at MotoGP. Anyway, over at MotoGP, and it's great because first of all, he used to be a rider, which you don't always get. And then he was like, the current riders already like it because whatever they bring to him, he listens to them.
Right.
He's like, like Frankie Morbidelli was like, yeah, I got called into the stewards. Simon sat there. He listened to me. He laid it all out. And I went, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh.
Like, great. Like, we had a conversation about my perspective and his perspective. And of course, he still wins because he's in charge now, but it's all very reasonable.
Right.
And so as much as I miss having Simon on the announcing team on the international feed, I think that he's really done great for the stewarding. So Formula One, I know you're about to ruin everything that I love about MotoGP. So maybe this is something you could pick up that would make Formula One better and not ruin MotoGP, is learn how to have race direction that actually is informed and able to talk to the riders or the drivers in this case that, about why they got what they got. And it's just not like ham-fisted, I don't know, don't make me turn this car around kind of, like, don't press me anymore.
I know.
That's what we're doing now.
It is what we're doing. I know. It's
not that hard.
It's one of those things that, you think, but then, they're not going to do that because that guest stewarding, the Automotive Club of Cameroon really supported MBS during the election, and
they can still come.
And so we offered, that they, because of all that great support in the election, we're going to give them a stewarding, position. Or
I don't know how to do. I mean, I drive a road car. That is the extent of knowledge I have that I could bring to F1 stewarding, right? Like, what it's not okay. They can still come, right? If this is going to be your reward, you can be the guest. But it should, I guess, the balance should be the other way. Instead of just having one real race car driver as a steward and 7 guest stewards, it should be the other way around. You should have 6 real people and 1 guest, right? Like, there's not that many stewards, but you get the point, right? Yeah. Like, the balance is off, that you have way too many guest stewards because this is the reward for voting for me, as opposed to having people that legitimately know what they're doing. And then you can just sit there and be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, because they're going to be able to talk circles around you because this isn't what you do for a living.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know.
But hey,
they can still have their little reward. It's fine.
I guess, if you're trying to find some bright sides, the 2009 resource restriction and the 2021 budget cap shows you that culture can outlast paperwork. And while the cap is good, there's no doubt it needs some tweaking in our minds, I'm pretty sure. Most likely on a yearly basis, certainly with the cost cap. You think, well, the yearly cost cap, they'd have to revisit that every year, with inflation and everything else. So the rising cost of freight and everything else. So you would think, but at least that's taken care of. The winter, it's all taken care of. I think looking at the World Motorsport Council minutes would be interesting to make sure it really does dovetail with exactly what they were saying that the Concorde was going to do, and where they're going to apply some resources, if any, which would be good.
Don't worry, if they break it, I'm pretty sure they'll do a Val's verdict about like, wow, and it'll be very calmly delivered. Right. Well, you see, what we signed was this.
What we signed
and
is
what we're
this.
Actually doing is this over here.
Right, and what we meant...
And I don't find this very acceptable.
Right,
yeah.
And what we meant... Gosh, I feel like John Candy here. I got both sleeves caught on the chair. It was like in the car there. So
I just would love everything interpreted through James Vowles, because his delivery is always so, so engineered, so flat.
Yes.
And just be like, I'm very angry right now, and this is unacceptable.
Yes.
It'd
be perfect.
And it would still sound like everything else he says. So I think that's who I would watch if they really like execute this differently than what everybody thought they were agreeing to, which is inevitably going to happen.
James will let you know. See, but I agree with you. They should have probably had this announcement with a video actually on the FIA website with James explaining why the Concorde agreement was signed and why that's a great deal, because that would have been gold.
That's
to
right.
watch. I did see a picture. He did some racing, GT racing recently. That's good for James.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Racer
Where they say
heart.
now it's as many wins as Max Verstappen in that series, so that's good.
Yeah. So, yeah, right. Right.
You're the same. You're the same. This is like
so hard to. If you had to pick one, you couldn't between them.
I don't know, right? This is like when my team beats some other team, and then therefore they beat another team, therefore I get that win, right? Like the Steelers beat the Giants, and the Giants beat the Cowboys, therefore we could also beat the Cowboys.
Of course,
right?
that's
like,
logical.
That's how that works, right? So I think that's absolutely the same here. Like they're both equally successful.
Right.
I'll take James.
Right. Oh boy. Let's see. The other story I wanted to talk about. This is kind of interesting. This is okay. Admittedly, this story is a little U.S. centric, and I know most of all my friends in the UK are tired of the whole U.S. footprint on F1 as it is. But there was some talk, and to be fair, I think this is probably a good thing on balance. Reuters covered it, but effectively, the FIA boosts the IndyCar Super License points from 2026 onward, the World Motorsport Council increased Super License points for IndyCar placings P3 through P9 from 2026 onward. Historically, only the champion banked 40 in one go. Now, higher finishes earn more towards the 40-point threshold, right? And
that's
yeah, the rationale is it better reflects the stature and competitiveness of IndyCar. And the practical effects is it shortens the path for top U.S. open-wheel talent to F1 eligibility. And I thought, well, that's actually the right move. You know, they were kind of getting short shrift, IndyCar was. And it has been a long-standing claim that IndyCar was undervalued versus F2 and Formula E. You know, they're giving points away in F2 and Formula E. And meanwhile, over in IndyCar, well, if you win the championship, let us know.
I mean, Formula E is nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts. That's not the same.
No. No. You know what it is? It's a different category. Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, I think if somebody said to me Formula E versus IndyCar is closer, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the cars, the track,
speeds,
the talent. I think that's a lot closer.
Right.
Jeff, don't come
Formula E, you know, watch them race down at a mind-blowing 60 miles an hour.
All into like a closing turn. It's great.
Sorry, I know they go faster than 60, folks. Sorry. Don't send me any mess. I know. So
no, Jeff's coming for you. So
I know. It's whatever. So that's good. You know, from a commercial perspective, it helps the U.S. pipeline.
I'm sure Zach's happy about it.
Yeah, he should be, and Cadillac should be happy about it, right? So it helps that commercial pipeline now that Cadillac's getting in the sport. That's good. Historically, there's always been this ladder purity issue versus market reality. F1 wants U.S. growth and meritocracy, so treating our own open wheel series, meaning Americans' own open wheel series, like some third-rate comical racing series, isn't exactly winning friends and influencing people over here. And so I'm sure that someone said, okay, look, folks, the U.S. is a large market. The owners of F1s, are an American company. And the reality of it is, if we're going to keep beating the stuffing out of IndyCar while we're just doling out super license points for Formula E, we should probably rethink that, you know? Yeah.
I mean, I think some of that also is Tony George's fault. I mean, there are so many things that are Tony George's fault, but this is also Tony George's fault. I mean, back in the early 2000s, IndyCar did have a real place in Formula One, and that often, that's where teams like Williams would stick. Like we talk about how like Red Bull doesn't want to, you want your new talent to be in your lower series team, lower team, so that they get their like sea legs under them at Williams or at Haas or at Racing Bulls, not at your team, right? That used to be what they would do to IndyCar, right? Like it would be like, well, we have 4 drivers and 2 seats and somebody needs to get their sea legs, so we're going to send them to IndyCar, right? That relationship used to exist. But then Tony George came along and now he was like, we don't want your F1 castaways. I'm my own series. We're our own great thing. We're IndyCar. We're going to be amazing. And now here we are 20 years later. And finally, somebody said, oh, maybe we should have some relationship between these open wheel series again.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, Formula One has snobbery. Of course they do. And of course there's some sort of like, oh, Americans, we don't want to be a part of that. But I do also think Tony George really put a quash on this relationship that there was across these teams.
Yeah, and in fairness, with deference to Formula One and other European sports, I mean, you're right. During that era, it was like there was a lot of chest pounding and bravado from IndyCar about we're more entertaining, we're harder racing than Formula One, and they really felt that they could take on Formula One head to head and blah 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 blah, and there were a lot of people in the States, who are diehard IndyCar fans, and they were like, yeah, IndyCar is producing great racing, and, it does. And, but, it's IndyCar. And when you think, well, my gosh, the Indy 500 has, hundreds of thousands of people at it. Yeah, I know, but not every IndyCar race does. Indy 500 does, but not every IndyCar race. And then even back then in the late 2000s, you and I we talk about it, I'd say, okay, but, as much as like IndyCar and want it to be outrageously successful, the reality of it is that you may have a lot of people watching Indy 500, but you have billions of people watching Formula One. So it's a parallax, at best, as you're looking at those two series. And so I think maybe IndyCar got a little too far out over their skis on that, chest pounding stuff.
I mean, we could do a whole we'd have to bring Paul, but we could do a whole show on,
right.
Champ Car and IndyCar.
Yeah, I did love me some Champ Car.
Ruined. Yeah, I mean, they used to race in Europe, and you know what I mean? Like, it used to be a much more international.
Didn't they race at the Rockingham Oval Circuit over there in UK? Yeah. So it used to be a much more international series, and so I blame Tony George. And I think anytime I see something about IndyCar, which I now no longer follow closely, Roger Penske owns everything. Is there really anything that he doesn't own? And I think that's also a sign of. Well, I mean in IndyCar, right? Like, he owns every track. He's like, he owns the whole series. He owns half the. You know what I mean? Like, if Roger Penske decides tomorrow, like, I'm out with you fools at 102, they're really sunk, right? Yeah,
like,
that's a big gap.
Is the Roger Penske series at this point.
Yeah,
and so
that's a big gap.
I think that is also a sign of maybe you're not in the best place in the world, that all your money is one person, even though he's the captain and he's done a lot for both of those series before they merged together. So
and I think this move in particular is good. IndyCar makes gains without F2 losing face in this, and I think that's good. Kind of a nice way to thread the needle of the two there. Would it devalue F2 placements in perception, if not policy? I don't know. Look, if it kind of back to your point, Grace, if you've got teams. I think Zach is happy. You think like the whole Alex Palou thing and everything. When you think about, well, if Zach did have a couple of American drivers, putting them in IndyCar and placing, from P3 to P9 and still getting points, that's pretty good in the sense that kind of I could plant some prospects and, a season or two, who knows, they could. Get their super license and be qualified to drive an F1.
I mean, racing in general is always going to suffer from something that other stick and ball sports don't, which is there is a super limited amount of seats.
Yeah.
Right? Like, a football team is 100 deep?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? There's a lot more space on a basketball team or on a football team than there is for race car drivers. And so I think it behooves all of them to be able to work together so you can get the best talent in these different series. And especially if F1 wants to continue having a footprint in the United States, they're going to have this sort of a relationship with each other. To me, it makes sense because you only have, even Red Bull, which has the most seats, but they have so many young talent, young drivers. Like, at some point, you can't promise them all they're going to be Max Verstappen's teammate. At some point, somebody's going to have to go somewhere else.
Well, Red Bull has a new vacancy.
Goodbye, good luck, and good riddance.
I thought that news had to make you happy.
Oh, that Isaac got the promotion? Or that Yuki left, or that they kicked Yuki very unceremoniously out of the team.
No, that Helmet got kicked out of the team.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
finally, now when we do our New Year's resolutions, it won't be that Helmet's thrown out of the sport, which I bring up every year. So now I've mentioned stewards, so racing stewards, you can figure that out in a couple weeks. Then I won't have to bring that up on the resolution show either.
Right.
It's a perennial favorite of mine is getting some decent stewards, consistent decent stewards, and getting rid of Helmut Marko. So you're right, there he is. He's out of there. But
yeah. I was thinking about this. I think once there's a couple case studies, I think the controversy starts to fade down a little bit. In the short term, there could be more tests and more FP1s for U.S. names, right? In the sport. I think that would be good. And I also think it'd be a good if Formula One, if a knock-on was possibly some deeper scouting stateside for up-and-coming talent, right?
Of course, right. And then, and they could diversify their talent pool, their sponsorships. I mean, because that's also a difference between racing and other sports is that you need sponsors.
Yeah.
You know, LeBron James can be great. He doesn't need sponsors, right?
Yeah.
Like,
because, you know, the UK, oh my gosh, 35 different champs and 11 are British, so what's over 30%. I mean, I argued that, like, there was a secret underground factory in Slough where they're manufacturing F1 world champions over there in the UK.
of course it would be Slough.
Yeah, of course. But it might be, you know, it could be in Kent, though, if I'm honest.
I don't know.
But it'd be good for U.S. drivers, I think. So we'll see. You know, we'll see if there's any announcement. Any teams doing reserve or test announcements. You know, referencing the new table, what they're keeping their eye on. Whether Cadillac leverages any of the U.S. drivers will be interesting, right?
Nobody really has space to. I mean, yes, they have to be competitive. They're separate series, but there's something in between competitive and symbiotic, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like there can be a relationship here that is still, we're separate series, but yet we can benefit each other because the financial resources are less.
Yeah.
There's just no free money laying around anymore. So if we're all going to survive as series, we're all going to have to learn how to make these resources last, not just in our sport, but across motorsports.
Yeah, good point. So there's that. Let's see.
Okay.
Next up is it's one of Grace's tonight. So realize we've been covering this at the website and podcast since 2005.
I can't believe it's going to happen.
It's been a long time. And realize that ever since 2005, practically every year, there was always rumors about Audi joining F1. So it got so bad that after years of always hearing that every year, we just said,
whatever.
I'll believe it when I see it. Even when they said,
I'll
no, they're coming.
one.
I'll believe it when the car's on the grid. I will believe it.
It's actually going to happen.
So this week, Audi has announced what their new team name is and their actual launch. And the new formal name of Audi's F1 team is Visa Cash App. No, it's not. It's not.
Max Verstappen's second team, right?
But it is in the fintech industry. And who doesn't love them a little fintech, Grace? Right?
Gosh.
It's Audi Revolut F1.
Okay.
Revolut is a fintech, a finance technology, right? So Audi confirmed its official entry name, Audi Revolut F1 team.
Right.
The global launch, Grace, is set for January 20th, 2026 in Berlin, with livery reveal and, get this, fan activations via Revolut. And if there's one thing I want in a car launch and a name livery launch, it's fan activations, Grace.
I don't even know what that means.
It doesn't matter what that means. It means all the 20-something, 30-something influencers that barely know anything about F1. They'll all be there talking about.
I could be there. I have blue hair now. I could be there.
Right? You totally
like,
could be there. Yeah. It's like, hey, this is a really fast car, and these are grippy tires.
Yeah.
So they'll be there covering.
Except when they take questions from the press, my only question will be, what color is your dot going to be? Yeah, that's great. But what color is your dot going to be?
Yeah.
In the timing
it's a
and
good
scoring.
question.
That's all I really want to know.
Is it going to be red? Is it going to be black?
I don't care. It just better not be some form of blue.
It'll be
turquoise.
some form of blue-ish that we can't follow. Is that Red Bull Williams? What is that? Is it Alpine? What is it?
Oh, sure.
Hard to know.
A whole bunch of blue dots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're going to have to make dots bigger with their first initial, like A for Audi and F for Ferrari.
Yeah, first. Yeah. So okay, I could be a fan activator, whatever.
Yeah, you could. Fan activations. They're going to have things where you and I can follow along, and we will probably be exposed gratuitously to a QR code where we can take a picture and sign up for some sort of Revolut services.
Never do that. Never. Listen, people, don't be just like willy-nilly with your QR code. Don't be doing that.
Code.
That's a bad idea.
Okay, here's a QR code right here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
right.
take a picture
Bad
of it.
idea.
Yeah.
Don't be doing that.
Yeah.
Don't be doing that. Okay, cool, Audi.
Sorry, Paul always gives me a hard time about my pop-up.
Yeah, that's right. He sure
But
does.
it's
all
the
right.
Park for Me logo, man. It's handy. I like it.
That's right.
So, so there's that. Continues the whole transformative nature of this team from its humble beginnings as a street mine in Tupelo, Mississippi. No, from its humble beginnings as I know it's a Simpsons reference. From Hinwell, Sauber, all the way to all the different machinations like Alfa Romeo Sauber, right? Kind of showing that brand stuff works sometimes. Now it's transmogrifying into Audi work squad.
They should do an outcut of all the times they've said they were going, like all the times they said they were going to,
Yes.
and not.
Yes, get campy with yourself. Have fun. And say, hey, here's a short clip of all the years and things and times that we said we were going to get into F1.
Exactly. We're going to be in it, and we're not. I think that would be great. They can do it right, like the car launch from 2 years ago, where they had the comedian that was just like kind of poked fun at everybody, right? Like you totally do that. Like here's the 700 press releases where we said we're going to be in Formula One, and then we never showed up, and we're actually going to show up this time.
Right. Get a brand voice there. That would be fun. So they got that.
Okay.
Let's see what else. To be fair, I think the naming rights partnership signals serious commercial firepower on a pre-debut, and I think that's impressive for Audi. Yeah. I think the FinTech tie-up, that's good. I like it. It suggests sort of a fan technology layer, whether it's cards or perks or access or who knows what Revolut might do. I think that's good. I think the timing's good. Keeps the momentum warm through the quiet off season. That's good. Keeps
all 2 months of it now.
Right.
Because the season just ended and it's going to start again in February.
Right. Yeah,
the off-season doldrums are super
I think
quick
it's
now.
good. I think there's a lot they could do with it. Like, if the card has cash back at pit stops, that's good. I like it. Why not? Have Nico pull up there, put his card in, chip reader, take off, pay for the gas, pay for the tires. So I'm in.
Okay, yeah.
I wonder if Audi now can pay for the team over 48 payments of the low $21 million.
That's right.
Got a payment
That
plan
seems
for
like a
Audi.
bad idea.
48 months, just $21 million a month.
Yeah, it's fine. Anybody can afford that.
Yeah.
It's totally a good investment. What are you worried about?
Yeah. It gives you a more predictable cash flow, to cover your revolver debt.
Yes.
That's good.
No, it gives the person collecting your debt a more predictable
Ah,
cash flow, not
see?
the other way around.
And you can show more unencumbered funds, see? And I like that
right.
on the P&L.
That's right.
good.
So please keep doing it.
That's right. How about a credit card with a DRS sign as a logo on the credit card? Just a little homage.
Only if we could open it in Paul's
name. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Paul could get the Revolut credit card that has DRS on it. It would be perfect for him.
I can just see now which one of you jokers did this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. See, if it was still around, one of us, you or I, would sign Paul up for Columbia House.
100%.
Yeah, we would.
100%.
We would have signed him up for
One
Columbia
cassette
House
tape a
for
week.
one cassette a week, and we'd have picked the first 42 cassettes that we'd have picked have been stuff we know he hates. That would have been funny.
Yeah, like easy listening in country or something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
No, I was just trying, what's the opposite of punk? I don't, I was trying to go, that's why I went with
or mod.
easy listening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agreed.
exactly.
Hey, it's also good that they got a title sponsor because that revenue front loads the team's ramp up as they're coming in. So it takes a little bit of the sting off of what they've been spending the last 2 years on the ramp up. That's good.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, though, the naming ages fast if you're not Ferrari. So how do they keep that fresh? And I thought, now here's the plan. Go about 5 years is Audi Revolut F1 team, and then change it. Go Revolut Audi F1 team. See what I did there?
Yeah.
It's a masterstroke in marketing.
Yeah.
I like it.
As long as they don't lose their money, that's all they want. They'll call themselves whatever they want until
Well, they're going to lose money.
You change your
Don't you worry. They're losing money. I can guarantee that. Ask
the
Gene. Call
Jaguar.
Gene. Say, hey, Revolut, here, call Gene. Here's the phone. Call Gene. He'll tell you.
That'll be great. That's okay. So that is the podcast we need at the end of the season, right? We need to be tracking whoever does the Audi podcast to see how happy they are at the end of the season when they realize how much money they actually lost in this whole adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's all fun and games, but in the end, the true test is going to be the power unit reliability and operations and not branding anyway. So that's what it boils down to, and that's where they're going to lose their money.
But that's fun. This is an uplifting story if you're Audi.
I mean, you might just
great.
get used to it. You're gonna lose money. There's just no two ways around it. So.
I mean, it's like hosting the Olympics. Nobody hosts the Olympics to earn money.
No,
That's
and
not what
NBC
happens.
ponies up for that. They're suckers. They pony up for that every year. And I'm reduced to the fact that I think NBC ponies up for the Olympics every year because they want to keep Lee Diffie going. They love Lee, and they want Lee. I love it, and I'm a Lee Diffie fan because I know Lee. I've met him. I've spent time chatting with him. He's a delightful guy, guys. Really, he is. And he's a wonderful guy. And I remember the first year they had the Winter Olympics, and I didn't know Lee was calling the Olympics, and so I was watching because I don't really watch Summer Olympics. I'm a big Winter Olympics fan. And when he came on, and all of a sudden I heard his voice, like he's calling luge.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like bobsled.
That's awesome.
He did all the like
Lee's calling luge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was great.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. I mean, and to be able to have anything to say about somebody doing, I mean, luge is crazy, but skeleton is by far the craziest thing.
For
like,
sure.
And the whole time you don't just stand there going, what is wrong with you? How did you get into this sport? Why did you think luge wasn't crazy enough? I'm going to go head first.
I feel like if Paul was going to do that, he'd do skeleton luge.
Yeah.
That's just kind of a Charsley thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's what he would do.
I'm not that. I don't have that. I don't have that chutzpah. But yeah, right on.
Agree.
So yeah, I'm sure he'll be there. I'm sure that Lee Diffie will be in Italy and do something.
He'll be there. He'll be there.
Yeah.
So, it'd be good to see when they do the first shakedowns. That'll be good. Launch format. That'll be great. I'm hoping that their launch will be online with lots of buffering. That'd be great.
That will be great. I mean, we didn't test it with how many
Come a long ways.
people. No, they're not Virgin Atlantic. They're going to actually do some load testing before they launch.
It's like, boy, did Revolut pay Azure to do it when we get a spike that they would give us more bandwidth? What's going on? Call Azure.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe not.
Gene would not tolerate that.
No, Gene wouldn't go for this. This isn't going to cut it. And perhaps, is this our last story? No, it's not.
This is our fourth story.
Okay. This is perhaps the most farcical story this week.
Okay.
When Mohammed bin Sulayem re-elected the FIA president. Now, this is glorious. So, MBS secured a second 4-year term, elected unopposed at the FIA General Assembly in Tashkent, which is laid out similarly to Kent, but not nowhere as nice as Kent. So it's kind of a Walmart Kent.
Just because it has like a Kent-like word. Yeah.
It's just, no offense, but it's like a Walmart Kent to the real Kent, which is glorious. I've never been to Kent, but I hear the people in Kent like me because I brag about them all the time. So Tashkent. Rival bids fell at the nomination slate hurdle. A Paris court was brought in, and they declined to suspend the vote, but they are going to hear a full court case in December, or is it December, January, on the vote. And it, media says it could overturn the result of the election, depending on what the court finds out. So the legal challenges could continue into early 2026. And this is
controversy.
Yeah, I don't know if there's some context or perspective. Yeah, on one side you can say, well, it's continuity heading into the new 2026 overall, and it's easier to push officiating because it's MBS, and we all love MBS, and we know what a bang up job he's done in the last 4 years, right? But the optics are a problem, Grace. A one-name ballot damages public trust in the entire governing process. It betrays everything about a fair election for a president of an organization that governs all of motorsport in Europe. And I think it's a sham.
Because it is, by anything, not fair, right? Like,
yeah. Where's the EU in all
least
this,
pretend.
right? I mean, what's going on?
At least find somebody else to pretend like it's a competition.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And you say, well, those statutes may need to redesign that. Yeah, you think? Yeah, they do. I mean,
the MBS clause.
Right, could be the MBS clause. I mean,
just
good for him. He won in a landslide.
Well, when you're the only contestant, right? But I think that it's kind of like how the drivers are weighed after every race because of Michael Schumacher, right? Like, so you just have these rules that get put in place because somebody bent them and now it's there. So here we go. Somebody will have to put in a rule so this doesn't happen again.
It's the MBS clause, right?
It is shambolic, so.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if it stands, you could argue that, stability, and now everybody can coexist. Doesn't stand? Well, if it doesn't stand, I would think that the court would have to rule that, no, you've got to allow people, the mandate.
Did we have the election?
Yeah. What was the equivalent? I don't remember which article I read, if it was Autosports or one of them. I don't remember where I read it, but somebody made the point that it's a bit like saying, well, I'd like to run for president, but you have to come of a company, but you have to come with all the people that are going to be on your board. I don't know who I'm going to have on the board yet.
Right.
I have a few key individuals, but I got to get there first, right? And see what's needed on the board. Yeah, this mandate said, well, no, you got to have your whole council, what you're going to have, and they got to have a VP. And oh, by the way, there's only one in Brazil, and she's Bernie Eccleston's wife, and she's already voting for me. So you don't.
So good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. Well, that's BS. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any nomination roadmap changes coming, and this court, and what would happen if it strikes the election.
That's right.
I think that might be interesting. How F1 frames the outcome of this publicly is kind of interesting.
They just won't talk about it.
They may not. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right, Grace. They probably just won't talk about it because F1 is not a fan. Teams are not a fan. Drivers are not a fan of him. And
no, that is very clear.
Yeah. And this old playbook is so dog-eared, folks. Just go back and look at the news and stuff when Jean Todt was up and it was an election year, or Max Mosley before him. You just look. It's the old playbook. It gets close to the election year, and out of nowhere, MBS did it. He's on planes. He's going. It's all about mobility and safety and mobility. He's going out to all these far-flung nations talking about, here's a few thousand, pounds, and it's about mobility and safety, and they big all that up. And then after they're elected or re-elected, it goes quiet. And effectively, let's just be honest, the FIA lives off the largesse of Formula One's revenue.
That is right.
Because it's the 800, F1's the 800-pound gorilla in the stable, right?
Carrying the big money bag.
They are. And it's really unfortunate. I hate it that it happened because there is it's shambolic. It really is.
Yeah.
And
so then we'll talk about it. They'll be like, whatever.
Yeah.
We don't know who that guy is.
Here, let's get everybody over to Touchkit real quick, and we're going to do this and have the world, and then an election, and then right on the heels of that, we're going to have a prize-giving gala. Woo!
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So, confuse everybody with the prize-giving gala and all this stuff, and we'll just slide the election in quietly.
Yeah.
Didn't make a big deal of it.
I would do if I was in.
Yeah, that's what they did. Yeah. All right. And finally, we got to talk about your boy Lando.
That's right.
Finally lifts the trophy, and Grace Max was absent for the FIA prize-giving gala.
Yeah, he had a tennis injury.
Oh, did he?
That was JPM's excuse.
Oh, that's right.
Like,
yeah, he had a tennis injury. I think somebody was showing videos. I don't know if that was real or not. It could have been.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody said, "Oh, well, why was Max online playing racing games?" You know, they had a video of him. I don't know if that squared up with the timeline.
I mean, he was sim racing.
Was
what
he?
he was doing?
Okay.
Yeah, which I thought was funny.
That was
yeah,
funny.
he was playing.
Well,
video
you could
games
do that
during
even
the
though you're
pricing
sick.
ceremony.
You know, you can.
I love that everybody said that. I'm like, yeah, but it's the optics. Like, I mean, how long is the prize giving ceremony? You can still play video games, but not be online, right? Like, you couldn't find 5 hours something else to do with your life.
I
You know what I mean? Like, you and I, when we've been homesick from school, and you hear moms coming home, you're like, oh, it's like Ferris Bueller, right? All of a sudden, you're holding the thermometer up to the light, and and you're splashing water on your face. You can't be like running around the house like, I'm sick.
You gotta find the remote and turn off the Price is Right. You know.
Right, exactly. Like optics, man. You can't you just couldn't for 3 hours find something else to do.
Read a book.
You had to be online playing video games, right? Like, I don't.
So good. So good.
That was great. But I think that's clearly it, right? That's the ultimate flex. Like, I'm not coming because I'm sick. Oh, I was playing video games and you can't do anything about it because I'm Max Verstappen.
But he did record a message to send remotely. It was a nice message.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
So this all went down in Tashkent, which is a Walmart version of the real Kent. Champion Lando Norris received his driver's trophy. Max missed it, sent a message remotely. Teams shared clips and photos across platforms and socials.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. Lots of sponsor tie-ins, I noticed. That was a good move.
They gotta pay the bills.
Absolutely good move on the marketing departments there, folks.
Yep.
This ceremony capped the season's media cycle, and it all comes down to a crashing end for 2025. And with that, ends the 2025 season. So the awards are optics, not points, right? The optics feed brand equity, and MBS disrespecting Lando yet again, mussing his hair up again. I mean, that is just so disrespectful and out of line. He's trying, you little kid. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It was weird when they were in the cool down room and this arm just out of nowhere. Like, what?
I know.
How weird. I'm like, calm down,
stop
man.
Stop touching me, dude.
Let it go.
Yeah, we're not like this. You know, we aren't besties. Back off.
Not like, I mean, maybe you shouldn't do that to little kids, right? Like, it's not respectful,
it's
right?
not.
Like, but you certainly shouldn't do that to an adult.
It's degrading. Certainly to an adult
weird.
like Lando, who's a world champion, and you're messing up his hair.
I think he should have messed up MBS's hair in response.
Yeah, when MBS is in the Middle East, he wears his formal robes, right, with the hat and all that. I mean, how would he feel if Lando came up and said, took his hat off, messed up his robes, right? How would you feel? You're that's disrespectful. These are my robes. Yeah, well, guess what? Lando's hair is what hits his image.
We'll be in Australia. He'll have all the chance to run his little hands through that hair, right? Like, I totally would be like,
right.
Come on over here.
Yeah, I think he ought to go take the hat off of MBS and throw it around and fluff up his robes. And, if we're going to disrespect each other.
I don't know.
Silly.
I would just also be concerned that, because I'm pretty sure there's some, what is that, Grecian hair dye in there.
Ooh, he should put like hair oil, like a lot of it in there. So when he does it, he gets that oil over his hands.
Exactly.
That would be great.
Or like the ink thing, like if you steal a shirt out of a department store, like the ink explodes, that kind of idea, right? Like
that's an idea. Put some like black. Yes, and then he'd have it on his hands, right?
All sorts of things.
His hands would get dyed. That would be great.
Yeah, please don't touch my hair anymore.
Right.
I like it. Be passive aggressive. I mean, we all saw it. We all think it's disrespectful. So yeah. Just I'm petty like that. Just keep going. Just whatever it takes to get that man to stop touching my head. That's what you need to do.
I know. So it was good, McLaren's Halo moment. That helps get their partners renewed and everybody re-signed up. Verstappen,
Bonnie Raitt's very happy.
Yeah,
good job.
yeah. And Verstappen, his absence was sort of the second headline out of it. With videos of him home gaming was funny. Look, the pace of this thing, the Gala pace, remains Gala-ish. Probably could be shortened.
Yeah.
That would be good. Does the awards change any 2026 leverage at all? Maybe minimally. Except Stefano flying there with Zach in a Disney shirt. That added much needed context to what motivates Domenicali. Winners and new broadcast partner money.
That's correct.
That's it.
In the most touristy of tourists, Disney shirts ever. It was great. I loved it. As if you just hopped out of Florida all of a sudden.
It was so good. Yeah, it's just a T-shirt, like Disney.
I also love that Zach just called it, or whoever does the social media, just called it, an award ceremony. No, I always think of the Steve Matchett of no, we don't absorb shock. We dampen oscillation, right? That's right.
They're dampers.
We don't give out awards here, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but his was no, we dampen oscillation.
No, it's a prize-giving gala.
Absorbers, right? No, this is a prize-giving gala.
That's right.
Zach.
Yes.
Get it together.
Yes.
Shock absorbers.
Come on, Zach. You know that.
That's right.
An awards dinner is what we do in the States. Over there, it's a
Right.
prize-giving gala. It's all very French.
Right. That's what your IndyCar friends do.
Yes. Yeah. So good social lift in the socials.
Yeah, sure.
And
time to have
I'm
that.
sure McLaren's got a lot of good merch bumps out of this too.
I hope so.
Yeah.
My merch is currently all still sitting in England, so that's great.
There you go. Yeah.
Thanks, tariffs. It's great.
Yeah. Thank
Maybe
you.
someday it'll get here. Cool.
That's good.
That's great.
Yeah. All right. Let's. Shall we do some Albon's cats? I mean, it's always kind of what we do. We kind of think,
sure.
What other tangential things could we talk about, like Alex Albon's cats, centered around F1? What do you got for us?
That's right. All right. So first, I don't know how many people out there watch F1 TV's coverage of the races versus the international, Sky broadcast. But I just want to say, I would like to put in a vote now for Apple TV, whatever you do. I want JPM at every race. I just think his first of all, I'm pretty sure him and Julian Palmer are going to get in a fight. And I'd like to see that too, because the two of them just have no agreement on it. I mean, it's a lot of people talk about the relationship between Jensen Button and Danica Patrick, but Jensen looks like he's going to strangle her. Julian Palmer is just I don't know. It's just the two of them, there's going to be a fight, and we just need to see that happening. They interrupt each other all the time. It's great. And it was just funny that I read, somebody's criticism of JPM, and they're he's undisciplined, and he doesn't know what he's doing, and he just not in a race car driver knowledge, but as a broadcaster, right?
Right.
He's stepping over everybody, and I was like, that's what I love about this. But I also realized that I love JPM. This is JPM being JPM. Please don't get rid of this. This is what's great. And maybe it is because I have that old relationship with this man, but I think he should be at every race. And I also think it's great when they do bring on the junior drivers, because of course he knows all of them because they race with his son, which is why he's there, right? So I think that's cool that we're most people are just oh, and this is Todd. JPM's Todd, my man, how's it going? Because he actually knows these kids because of his son. So I just do want to put in a plug there that, Tim and Craig, whatever you're going to do with Apple TV, I'd love more JPM.
I have the perfect lineup.
Right.
Jipham. Mm-hmm. So you got JPM.
Yeah.
Jacques Villeneuve and Nico
They'll kill
Rosberg.
each other. Somebody's going to die. Somebody's going home in a body
That
bag
would be...
is what's going on there.
Because all
that is
three of
not
them
gonna
just
make it.
say it the way it is. They say the
They're
inside
not.
thing outside. All three of them do.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
I did love when they interviewed Lando Norris's dad, Adam, and he was just so you could see how excited he was to also meet JPM, that he was sort of just I know there are other people standing here, but I'm just talking to you, sir. Because I'm a fan of you, and you're a dad, and you know what this is like to have your son. And they just had this father-son racing thing. And it was just really cute that he was just and you're JPM. I know there's whatever, Julian Palmer in your 5 races.
Right.
This is JPM, right?
Right.
So, I enjoyed that.
It's so good. And In JPM's defense, and I've told this story, so I'll make it really quick. So I've done the double a couple times where you go to the Indy 500 and then you get in a corporate jet and you fly to Charlotte and then you do the Coca-Cola 600 that evening, right? And I've done that twice. And one of them, they brought in Simon Pagenaud and several drivers, and JPM was one. And when I was talking to JPM and I was interviewing him, I was talking to him, and their handlers come in, and after about a minute, they try to get him out of there. But he kept waving the handler off, and he was totally engaged with it. We talked for like 10 or 15 minutes, and he should have been gone like 15 minutes ago, and he hung in there the whole time. And he said, no. He said, these are really good questions, and we had great conversation. He was a super good guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm all for that.
Yep.
Okay, so then also I did want to give a little plug for those of you who haven't seen the clips on YouTube for the McLaren Christmas party, where we learned that Zach's got some yokes. So have you seen this clip? Okay, so Zach tells, he writes out this speech, which is also kind of funny too, was watching Zach trying to like balance up pieces of paper and a microphone at the same time. But anyway, he makes the statement, which is, he's really glad that, Oscar and Lando are here at the team, but it's not like you had any other choices because Oscar, you were going Alpine, and Lando, all you had to do was beat Stoffel Van Doren. I was like, somewhere in a McDonald's in Brussels, Stoffel Van Doren was just like, what did I do?
What? Why did I get picked on?
Like, talking about strays from like 7 years ago. Way to go. But he was just like, all you had to do was beat Stoffel Van Doren. I'm like, oh, man.
All you had to do? All right, those are fighting words. All right, I'm sticking up for you, Stoffel. Yeah, I know.
I agree.
I've been to your McDonald's. I've been to your hometown many times.
That's right.
So that's not
I don't know if Lando Norris has a McDonald's, but it was pretty funny. But the whole speech was funny. And I think also Stella had this papaya, pocket square. I was like, whoa. I think that's what Todd and Paul need for their formal wear. Is a little papaya pocket square, right?
Pocket square. That'd be
Nicely
great.
done.
Very nice.
Yeah. And then my final Albon's Cats, which I want to mention because it's actually about Alex Albon. And it seems nice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your segment, Alex. We should give you.
Right.
If you want some joy, I found this very joyful that Alex Albon, they take him to Komatsu to the, he's they take him to the factory, and he's like trying to explain to you like he would a Formula One car. Except it's like diggers and backhoes, and he doesn't know anything about them at all.
Right.
So it's just kind of funny to watch him just making stuff up on the fly about this digger and how it relates to Formula One and how you should buy this digger and how great it is. And it was just really funny that he's just trying to like sell this stuff or trying to tell you about these different large, farming equipment or whatever that they have at Komatsu, and he has no idea.
It's
and,
so good.
So yeah, if you want a little joy, it was nice. Just
nice.
I feel like Alex could just like explain anything to me, and I'd be like, oh, that's nice. I should do that. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I love it. All right, let's do some mailbag.
You've got mail.
We do have mail. This comes from Wes. I'm sorry, Wes.
Right.
Paul is not on this podcast, but we're going to ask.
I'll do my best.
We're going to ask
All
Grace. He says, I've been going back over Lando's pass on Yuki with the onboards. The outgoing Yukesters driving during the finale was highly questionable. Many cars passed Yuki both before and after Lando's adventure off track, but only against Lando did Yuki weave so dramatically and dangerously. Therefore, the context by which Yuki attempted to block and or force Lando off the track or collide was to impact the championship through illegal driving like goon in hockey. It was only a 5-second penalty. He said, was only 5-second penalty appropriate? And then he says, you guys are the best. Thanks, Wes. Appreciate it. So, yeah.
I like the idea of Yuki as a goon.
Yeah,
That's
me
great.
too. But I have to say, our little video clip and our podcast last year, Paul caused some controversy.
Yeah.
I mean, people have been yelling at him, and he didn't know he's talking. I mean, it was really controversy, Grace.
I mean, I stand by the same thing when of course, we have a group chat, right? And so he said, like, oh, Lando should also get penalized for this. And I was like, last race. It's different rules. It's like the last lap. Different rules, right? Should he have been penalized? Well, yeah, if this was 4 races ago, maybe he would have been. But he's not going to be penalized in the last race when there's a championship on the line. That's just not going to happen.
Right.
It's just not. Nobody wants their win being determined by the referees.
That's
So
when he asked
that
us
was
in
never
the
gonna happen.
group chat. He was kind of like, all right, would you have lifted or whatever? And I said, in this race, I would have done exactly what Lando did. If this was the fourth race, I would have lifted.
Correct. That's right. Like, it's different.
Yeah.
And so whatever people think about should Lando been penalized or not, he was not going to be penalized.
Yeah, and I took all kinds of incoming over Paul's controversy, and I didn't agree with Paul. We disagreed in the podcast, and everybody's giving me a hard time. But I will defend Paul because he's going by the letter of the law, and the letter of the law was you don't do that, and you could lift, and you didn't lift, and they've been calling it the whole season. They didn't call it here. What he's pointing out, folks, is the inconsistency. That's what he's pointing out. Not that he really wanted Lando to get a penalty, because he didn't. What he's pointing out is the lack of consistency in the stewarding when you're penalizing some drivers earlier in the year for doing that and not later, right? And so he was just pointing out the consistency of it.
Yeah. So Wes's question is Yuki was driving normal until Lando showed up, and so he was actually trying to be aggressive towards Lando.
Yes, and he was saying, was a 5-second penalty appropriate? Yeah. I mean, you could have said it was a 10-second.
They should have sent him through the longest lap loop, right? Like the MotoGP.
I know. I think they should
track,
do
right?
that.
Just give him the longest lap. It's fine.
I love that idea.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I honestly didn't watch the rest of Yuki's race, so I can't. I feel like I can't. That's the only part they should. Because I will say that too. Dear race direction. First of all, Abu Dhabi, boring, right? Like, I get it. Abu Dhabi pays a lot to be the last race on the calendar. Nobody would put them as the last race on the calendar, right?
No. And it's just every year, it's just kind of like...
Exactly. Because then they I always think the broadcasters are like, well, then we're going to go to Vegas, and it's this kind of track and this kind of track. And then we're going to go to Qatar, and it's this kind of track and this kind of track. And then we go to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's kind of like, oh, okay, we're going to Abu Dhabi. Great.
So I just... but there was other stuff happening that we never saw, and this is always the case, and it's always a complaint as a race fan. But there's why are we just watching the front three? There's nothing that's going to happen.
I know.
I am very nervous, but there's nothing that's going to happen.
Should have been watching Alonso the whole race.
We should always be. We should just be listening to Alonso's radio the whole time. Why do we even bother? I mean,
I know.
That guy's a gem.
He is a gem, but it's difficult to know with Alonso, whether he's going to have that or he's
No more radio the rest of the race.
No more radio.
It's always good.
Hard
You
to
always
know.
have to leave space. It's always good when it comes from Alonso.
I agree.
It's going to be a gem.
Totally agree. So, all right. Well, that does it for this podcast this week.
Hero of the race.
Hero of the race, exactly. Yep. But we'll be back. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We're not going to leave you high and dry. We will be back. We're going to be covering news next week. We don't fold up the sidewalks and go away over the winter like everyone else. We will be here podcasting on Formula One. And so who knows what we're going to talk about, but whatever we talk about, it should be fun. So
that's right.
That's it. So until that time, next week when we come back to do it all over again, this is Todd, a.k.a. Negative Camber. See ya, Grace.
All right. We'll see you next week.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.